Hey guys, let's get more news about Miami Heat, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Draymond Green's prediction for Andrew Wiggins could lead to Warriors' disaster. Having departed the Golden State Warriors in the blockbuster Jimmy Butler trade last week, Andrew Wiggins struggled in his 2 games for the Miami Heat prior to the All-Star break. Wiggins was settled with the Warriors after arriving, also via trade, in 2020, so there's no real surprise that he's been slightly below his best to start his Miami tenure. The Canadian has averaged 12.0 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 4.0 assists in 2 games with the Heat, having shot just 29.2% from the floor and 23.1% from three-point range. Given Wiggins enjoyed a strong bounce-back season with Golden State prior to the trade, most expect the 29-year-old to find his groove and become a valuable two-way presence for a Heat team that's still battling for a playoff spot in the Eastern Conference. Warrior veteran Draymond Green has been left with little doubt that Wiggins will be a big acquisition for Miami, even going as far as to suggest that he could make another All-Star team next season. He's a champion. I think he's going to go to Miami and have great years, and guess what? Don't be surprised if Wiggs is an All-Star again next year, Green said recently on his podcast with Baron Davis. Wiggins was an All-Star for the first time in 2022, having actually started for Team Durant alongside Trae Young, Ja Morant, Jason Tatum and Joel Embiid. Many rival fans were left frustrated by that selection given Wiggins averaged just 17.2 points that season, but he quickly quietened those critics by lifting his game even further in the playoffs and becoming the second-best player on a Warrior championship team. Obviously all Warrior fans want Wiggins to go well, such was his impact on the team and place in Golden State history, but they shouldn't want him to dominate to the point where the trade becomes a disastrous one for the franchise. If Wiggins does return to the All-Star game, then that puts even more pressure on Butler to deliver given what the Warriors have relinquished and invested in order to land the 6x All-Star. At a minimum, Butler would also have to be an All-Star next season, and most importantly lift Golden State into a strong playoff spot. With Butler and Wiggins being the key cornerstones of the trade, the result of this deal years down the track will be determined by how they perform and their impact on the respective teams. As hard as it was to see Wiggins depart, the Warriors will be hoping it was ultimately the right decision. Heat's Tyler Herro caps off his memorable weekend with his first All-Star game, just super grateful. On Saturday night, Miami Heat guard Tyler Herro won the NBA's three-point contest. On Sunday night, Herro capped off his memorable All-Star weekend by playing in his first NBA All-Star game. But Herro's first All-Star game experience didn't last long, as his team, Kenny's Young Stars, fell to Chuck's Global Stars 41-32 on Sunday night in the first semifinal matchup of the All-Star Game's new 4-team tournament at Chase Center in San Francisco. With no clock used since there was a target score of 40 for each of the All-Star tournament's 3 games, Herro's team actually led 27-26. But Chuck's Global Stars closed the game on a 15-5 run to reach the target score of 40 first behind a game-high 12 points from Oklahoma City Thunder guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. "It was a short quick burst, honestly," said Herro, who played only 8 minutes in the game up to 40 points. "I broke like not even a half sweat. But it was a great experience all weekend, just to be here from Friday to Sunday night. Just super grateful to be here. It was the first time this format was brought upon us and it is what it is." Herro, 25, finished his first All-Star game with 6 points on 2 of 4 shooting from three-point range and 1 assist. As the Heat's lone All-Star this season, Herro started for Kenny's Young Stars. Herro scored 6 of his team's first 12 points, making his first 2 three-point attempts. But he didn't score again, missing his final 2 shots from behind the arc. This season's All-Star game looked different, featuring a mini-tournament with 4 teams for the first time. Each team had 8 players and was named for a TNT NBA analyst. The 24 NBA All-Star selections were divided evenly into 3 teams, with the rosters drafted by TNT's Inside the NBA commentators and honorary team general managers Charles Barkley, O'Neal and Kenny Smith. The 4th team was the winning squad from the championship game of Friday's Rising Stars event. Also on Kenny's young stars with Harrow were New York Knicks guard Jalen Brunson, Detroit Pistons guard Cade Cunningham, Minnesota Timberwolves guard Anthony Edwards, Cleveland Cavaliers guard Darius Garland, Memphis Grizzlies center Jaren Jackson Jr., Cavaliers center Evan Mobley and Oklahoma City Thunder forward Jalen Williams. In the end, Shaq's OG's team featuring Golden State Warriors guard Stephen Curry, Milwaukee Bucks guard Damian Lillard, Phoenix Suns forward Kevin Durant, Boston Celtics forward Jason Tatum, Los Angeles Clippers guard James Harden, Dallas Mavericks guard Kyrie Irving and Celtics forward Jaylen Brown won this year's All-Star Game tournament. Curry was named this year's All-Star Game Most Valuable Player. Miami Heat predicted to make bold Kevin Durant trade move involving Andrew Wiggins. Most fans would agree that the Miami Heat got more out of the Jimmy Butler trade than had been initially expected. They received Andrew Wiggins, Kyle Anderson, P.J. Tucker and a 2025 first-round pick, protected, Warriors. Wiggins had been one of the Golden State Warriors' best performers this season. But his start to life in Miami has not been the smoothest. Of course, he has only played a couple of games in the Heat uniform, but as we approach the postseason, there is a need to improve as soon as possible. The Heat are on a 4-game losing streak, which has left them with a 25-28 record and 9th in the Eastern Conference table. In the days leading up to the trade deadline, the Heat were linked with a potential trade move for Kevin Durant. While it might not have materialized, the possibility of a Durant to Heat trade could be revived in the future, especially if Miami ends up having another unsuccessful season. On Fadeaway World, Eddie Bitar has suggested a potential trade that would see Durant join the Heat while the Phoenix Suns would receive Wiggins, Haywood Highsmith, Jamie Jaquez, a 2029 first-round pick, MIA, and a 2030 first-round pick, MIA. Durant is entering the twilight years of his career. Unfortunately, the Suns do not appear to have a team that can challenge for a championship right now. A big three of Durant, Bam Adebayo, and Tyler Herro could be potential title contenders if surrounded by the right supporting unit around them. Of course, it would be a win-now move from the Heat, but considering how things are going for the team at the moment, it might be worth the risk. And you, fan? What do you think of Kevin Durant's situation? Leave your opinion in the comments.